Flagg. I'm an LA-based dancer and choreographer. And I recently worked with the amazing Flight Path dance project, setting a 10-minute repertory work. The working title, which has since become the title, is Electro Hydra Baby. Is in classical ballet and contemporary dance, but also in hip hop and street dance. And so really letting these worlds kind of merge and speak to each other. There is an aspect to hip hop culture that is relatable, and it doesn't have to do with race or ethnicity. It has to do with the energy that birthed the culture. I paralleled that energy in the 1970s with what was happening in 2020. This idea of marginalized people finding their voice and creating an ongoing legacy of speaking your truth unapologetically, going against the grain, inviting others into a movement, letting the world know what your experience has been, and finding your identity when you've felt invisible and overlooked. If you're able to relate to any of those experiences, then you have an entry point into hip hop and street dance culture. Working with Flight Path was such a good fit because even in our initial conversation, there was this alignment of ideas and ideologies around dance and the fact that art should be accessible and shouldn't be based on your economic status. And so I was so impressed and pleased to hear about the ways in which Flight Path is going about that and really making sure that it's accessible to these young artists who are so passionate about dance. They have these really strong identities as individuals, and they're so beautifully and drastically different. That is what happens when you really open up an experience. It becomes more reflective of the global community.
I am thoroughly impressed. This is not easy work to do. And you all are getting the feeling, you're tapping into the aesthetic, you're feeling each other's energy. And that's exactly what this is about. This is club culture. You will be moving together in a club, in a community, in a cohort. Excellent, excellent, excellent.
One of the main things I would say to this generation of dancers is to really marry this idea of tradition with innovation, to engage in and try and master these techniques that have come out of a deep tradition. And then as you become a professional artist and practitioner, you have more agency to then start deciding what you want to do with this information and bringing it into what the current state is of art, of culture, and making sure that it's something that's always moving forward. If you can find that balance between the two, it makes for a very rich presentation. You have to understand history, you have to understand what's happening presently, and you also have to know that you have the power to influence what is happening in the future.
So if you personally have ever in your life felt like you've been isolated or you had to fight to make your voice heard, that means that you have an entry point into the culture. Now, beyond that, it becomes your responsibility to study it in a way where you're respecting it, you're not appropriating it, but you're appreciating it, and you're also contributing to the conversation, okay?
One of the most impactful experiences I've ever had with an artist was my time with Rennie Harris, a pioneer, game changer, history maker in hip hop, concert dance, really changing how audiences perceived hip hop culture. And it was a very exclusive place, and still to this day, it's a place where hip hop and street dance is not always invited, right, into concert dance spaces. The main thing that I learned when I first got there was the importance of passing down information and not keeping it so close that it becomes something that is stagnant. Really passing it along to the next generation, passing it on to peers, and opening up the conversation so that you're giving and receiving. It's a constant exchange. experience working with Flight Path Dance Project. I cannot wait for everyone to see this work. These are some of the most talented young artists, and I won't even say young artists, talented artists I've ever worked with. And I really, really enjoyed their individuality. That was something that stuck out to me every single day, every single time that we met. I was really inspired by that, and it helped shape the work. And so I just am excited, and I can't wait till you see it.